Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Imagination Station podcast. Today, we are going to be picking up on part 2 to the dark side of maladaptive daydreaming. Last off, we talked about the consistency, and I highly suggest watching that video before watching this one, or going to see that afterwards, because I'm going to be picking up where we left off. Last time, we left off talking about how maladaptive daydreaming could turn to murder. And I know that seems dramatic, but when you think about it, it's not that far off. As a matter of fact, I have reason to believe that a lot of serial killers, even, or people that high up in that level, could have some form of the maladaptive daydreaming psychiatric condition, or MAD, or whatever you want to call it. You might be thinking that I'm being overly dramatic when I say this, but I wholeheartedly believe this. A lot of people, might be thinking, it can mess up your social life, it can make you unproductive, not do your work at school, but how can it go that far? Well, the first way you have to look at it, like, maladaptive daydreaming doesn't create these people. Again, I'm not in any I'm not trying to put everybody in the same boat, but some people who could already have some other sorts of mental disorders could also develop maladaptive daydreaming, which can push them over the edge. Obsessing over certain situations, things that if you could make them real, you would. And some people have been broken so far that maladaptive daydreaming only adds to that hurt and that hate and that obsession, even if that obsession is deadly or harmful. So many times when you hear about, people who've been hurt or raped, killed, and then they study the person who did that so many times. That person talks about how they've dreamt of it and obsessed over it, dreaming about this specific situation over and over for hours until they finally snapped and did it. The only difference between you and I in our daydreams and that person is that they forced it to become a reality by hurting somebody. And just because we may not do it doesn't mean it's not possible for other people. And I read these like newspapers and, these documentaries, and it's like, and nobody has ever, they just all blame it on like being a psychopath, a psychopathy, like, but maladaptive daydreaming is so unheard of. I feel like if it was more on the surface, like if people knew about maladaptive daydreaming, like people knew about sociopaths, it would click so many times. And I'm not trying to shame anybody because I still daydream. I mean, shit, I daydream today. But it doesn't make us, and it doesn't make us a bad person. But if you're having those sort of thoughts, those dreams that end in hurting others, you should seriously see some help. Even if you've just been daydreaming about something non-harmful and it's just sort of starting to take over your life, find a good psychiatrist or talk to a friend. Make friends online who go through the same things as you. And of course, be safe online when you're talking to random strangers, but I can promise you there's people out there who know how you feel, and maybe you can even find somebody to check up on you. But if you think your mind is going down that route, sometimes the farther you go down, the harder it is to dig back out of it. I'm sorry if my voice sounds annoying today. I've just had a lot. I didn't expect this episode to go this dark, but the next time that you watch a documentary or think about what they say when they go about how the person got there. Because so many times, like, you just see it's like, oh, I obsess over it. Things trigger me, and then all of a sudden I can't stop thinking about this. That sounds exactly like maladaptive daydreaming. So you can't tell me that I'm crazy, because I'm sure that sometimes, not all, but there has to be a couple cases, famous cases, that just nobody thinks about because nobody knows about maladaptive daydreaming. But I'm just going on a tangent now. I hope you've enjoyed this installment episode of the Imagination Station podcast, and tune in for more. I should have another part coming, but I don't think I'll be picking up on this exact topic. But stay tuned, because I have a lot of good stuff coming. And don't forget to take care of yourself.